What's up, everybody? This is Bems.
And this is Ace. This is episode 11 of Serving Up the Tea.
Lucky number 11. Anyway, Ace, what's tea?
This week, we had to dip from Twitter.
We did have to dip from Twitter.
And I'm making a facial expression that I know I need to put into words. But essentially, Twitter is no longer a safe space and there's way too much weird content coming up. So we are now on Blue Sky. Bems is in charge of our socials. Bems, how has Blue Sky been for you?
I like it a lot. It's very chilled. It's really good vibes. It gives me Twitter in 2009.
In the early days when Twitter was
The other day I saw somebody doing
the place to be.
Follow Fridays. I was like, okay, throw it back then. It was fun.
Yeah, all the little activations that used to happen. I think we got too comfortable in Twitter. We need something new.
Yeah, I mean, I think that people on Blue Sky seem at least if you're moving to Blue Sky, you're not moving there to be a troll or to be a bot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess bots are showing up and stuff, but you're there to actually build community because you're tired of what's happening on Twitter. Exactly. So a lot of people are being quite intentional about the energy and stuff that they're bringing over to Blue Sky. And I've really been enjoying it so far, to be honest. Of course, I've always said, Serving Up the Tea is not going to be giving in-depth analysis on stuff, but I have enjoyed adding some commentary to the tennis conversation with people who are actually into tennis. So it's been nice.
Mm-hmm. For me, I've never really been into Twitter, and I feel like starting a Blue Sky account, I can just have a new identity, a fresh start. I can be 140 characters girl now, or however many they allow you to do on Blue Sky.
I think they have 300 and something.
But I was also gonna say,
there's more tea, period.
So I think we've all been waiting to hear what was gonna happen to Francis after he obviously cussed out the chair umpire in his match in Shanghai, and then it was announced that he has been fined $120,000. That's 94,737 Great British pounds for his outburst. Now, Francis is fined. He says the F-bombs to the umpire, and he's not really someone who's ever on this kind of energy. So you knew he was really pushed over the edge. We spoke about this before. Bems, what do you think about the number of the fine? Because this puts him up there with the highest fines in the ATP of all time.
So going forward, I think in general, fines are going to look bigger and bigger than they have in the past, in comparison to how they have in the past, because they first of all, they put them on a scale where fines are scaled based on the level of tournament that you're playing. So obviously so that means the
Shanghai Masters was a 1,000.
Yeah. So the fines at a 250 will be smaller than the fines at a 500 will be smaller than the fines at an ATP to 1,000 will be smaller than a Grand Slam or the finals. I think unfortunately for Tiafoe, he was at Shanghai. So like you mentioned, it's 1,000. They gave him the maximum fine for everything. I was a bit surprised by it when I first saw it because I was like, Zverev literally whacked
the umpire chair.
The umpire chair barely
the umpire was scared to lose his leg.
Yeah. But the penalties have increased and now they're based on tiers as well. So in 2022, when that happened with Zverev, the max fine for any violation was 20K. But now, because of the scale, it's 60K for Masters 1000s. And I think he got 2 violations.
Yeah. So does this mean, do you foresee this making the 250s rowdy? Because everyone's like, oh, well, the fines are not that high anyway in comparison.
I'm not sure players are thinking about the fines when they're acting out. I think they're just acting out in the moment. I don't think there's someone sitting there can I wild out? It's a 250. Yeah, let me do it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's so emotionally charged at the time. I don't think they're even thinking rationally enough for this to matter. I also think that the way the ATP is quite selective, for lack of better words, about who, when, what they fine. It would be hard to try and base your behavior around the fine because you really never know what they're going to do.
When they're going to enforce and how hard they're going to enforce. Yeah. I mean, I wonder if tennis is going to become like basketball where the players are so aware of the fines. And yes, there's like your Draymond Green who has outbursts, and clearly he don't give up about a fine. But there are other players who like, okay, say they don't want to do media day. Like, what was his name? Who was just there so he don't get fined? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if tennis, because as the ATP focuses more on structuring the fines and the penalty system, I think the players are going to become very aware of it. And I'm not saying I'm against like the lower tier tournaments getting a little bit rowdy. Let's see some emotion on the court. But I didn't like seeing the F-bomb being dropped, so not going to lie.
To be honest, those sort of outbursts we don't normally see like at all. But it was especially strange seeing it from Francis, who's like such a happy-go-lucky like guy most of the time. So
yeah, he's usually rolling with the punches. But like I said, they pushed him over the limit. Anyway, Bems, what's tea?
I actually don't have a what's tea this week because Rafael Nadal retired and I'm in mourning. So
ain't no tea on Bem's side.
Yeah. Nothing
I think the whole
happened,
tennis
actually.
community is in mourning. It's kind of like the day is here. The tournament is here. And there's no denying it.
So like
it's gone.
What are we all
finished.
here for? Like what was it all for?
Yeah. And I think this is like, I like how he said like this doesn't have to be the last, but like his ego is like not in it. So he's just happy to like bow out right now. And he doesn't have to go on like a exit tour, which some would argue this year has been like an exit tour. But I think he was just playing his last season.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday when I was watching the tennis channel, and after they lost the doubles match, he was giving his speech. Obviously, I think they weren't prepared for them to lose today. I think they had a lot of things planned for later in the week, but he was giving his speech, and because I guess they didn't have like a translator in the studio at tennis channel, they were just like talking over his speech. Like in like they have like TC Live or tennis courts or whatever they call that thing, and they're just sitting in the studio like having a conversation about him retiring while he's giving his speech because it was in Spanish. So they were just like chatting, and I was so annoyed. And I get that not everybody understands or speaks Spanish, but like I think people would have preferred to hear him talking even if they didn't understand than hearing a bunch of people in the studio like chat about it. It was very annoying. But anyway, yes, my Rafa has retired, and it's a lot for me.
I think we had a good year of closure, though.
I think I wanted to see him like at least get one title. I wish he had won that title against Nuno, but like I think because he's Rafa, I've just always expected like even though he's older and he's injured and his foot and his abdominal and his thigh, like I just always expected he was like gonna do it because it's Rafa. Do you know what I mean? So it didn't like click to me that like no he can't do it anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like he physically can't.
Yeah, like he didn't have it. Yeah, and it's
becoming increasingly clear. It's been hard to see because like you just expect that level from Rafa, and you see he's like not running for some balls, like he's not trying to do too much, and it's just such a departure from like this guy used to be slipping and sliding up and down that clay.
I'm gonna miss him so much. Even just watching him on the bench while Carlos was playing, like I just but anyway.
Okay, so no what's tea.
No, it's tea for me. Let's get into some match point musings.
So on the women's side, let's start with the Geldem. Okay, because
the WTA finals was extremely enjoyable.
It was so good. The prize money was up. The girls were at the highest level. Billionaire bowed out. Naturally
is crazy.
And they really fought for it. Not naturally. But they were joking about the year of the highest prize money. And she's like, actually, I'm okay.
Coco didn't know how much money she was winning in her presser. Did you see that? She was wait,
when
what?
He passed
and then she was
million,
like, oh.
Yeah. I also think like she's well media trained to like naturally not come off like she cares too much about the money. I don't know if I believe that she actually didn't know, but it was nice for her to act like, oh, wow, that's the icing on the cake.
No, it seemed quite genuine. Like she was like, wait, what? Okay. Like it was so funny. If she was acting, that'd be insane.
So Coco took home $4.8 million US as the winner of the WTA finals. And close behind her was Kunran Zhang, finalist, who took home 2.3.
Yeah, Coco has now amassed $20 million in career winning.
Yeah, I think she's one of the few like players to do so at her age. I don't have the exact stat, but I feel like
Yannick
once you cross 20
I think
million,
Carlos has done it as well. And her age, yeah.
So she's up there with the guys, and people should just stop commenting on her as if she's not. It's really annoying.
Qinwen was not happy to have lost at all. She, I mean, to her credit, she's the first Chinese woman to reach the final since Li Na, who is her idol. I think it was like 2013.
Yeah.
And after losing to Coco, like, she was like, she could not even pretend to be gracious in defeat. Like, she was livid.
She was so sour.
Like, no, she was so upset.
She said, the lights are on me. I do not care. I am upset.
Then she also like did a post-match interview where she basically was like, yeah, she lost the match. Like, Coco didn't win the match. She lost the match. Yeah. She was like, oh, like, she had so many chances. She didn't take them. She said, a direct quote was, I see clearly why I lost the match. There's a lot of chances during the match, especially I'm the one mostly who is leading, and I give the match away.
Well, you know, we joke about her attitude, but I do want to say that I think it's actually not healthy. Like, she can't be sour after every loss because this is tennis. You know, you're losing every week. Like, she lost every week on her way here, and I feel like now that you're up in the top 10, you can't come down on yourself so hard when you have a loss because it's just too much negativity. You have to be able to bounce back like almost immediately. Well, given this was the end of the season, she doesn't really have to bounce back because, as she said, she's just booked and busy for photo shoots.
That was so
shout
funny.
Shout out to Vogue.
No, they asked her like, "What are you looking to do in the off season?" And she said, "What off season? I have sponsored obligations." I said, "Okay."
Booked and busy.
Like,
so maybe for her it wasn't like, oh, I can just like take this loss, and she doesn't have to bounce back. She could be sour for a bit, but I definitely think now she's gotten to where she needs to be in the top 10.
She wants to be with number 1 though, I think.
And she's told us that very clearly. She's not going to ever be happy with number 2. So maybe we should expect this kind of mentality until she's achieved that.
I will say though, the best match for me was Coco beating Iga Swiatek, because to be like, in hands up, I will admit, like, Iga didn't look her best for sure, but I love that Coco has not allowed the head-to-head to get into her head, because some people have already, like, if you have that head-to-head with someone you get on the court, you've already lost mentally. But she came out there like, yeah, she knows the head-to-head, she's ready to win, like, it's cool. And I love that she like is very gracious about it, because like the first thing the on-court interviewer asked her when she won was, no, the head-to-head, you've lost her 12 times. How does it feel?
Rude.
And you know, literally, they were like, oh, you finally got it done. And she was like, yeah, you know, just came out there, played my best. And I was like, yeah, like, to your point about like her being very well media trained, very well, like her wits are always about her. Like she's on.
She's always
I
on.
really
if a mic is on, she's also on. Come on now, Coco.
The WTA put out a statement that through the finals, they have grown 20,000 fans. They have impacted 33,000 students in their community, and they've raised over $100,000 for women's health. So I think they're trying to make sure that they're leaving an impact through their partnership with the Saudi Arabian government.
Yeah, and I think they definitely will, because I have friends who grew up in Saudi and they're really excited about this. And I think every part of the world deserves to be touched by tennis. So
sport in general, yeah.
Exactly. We can't be gatekeeping the fun stuff, and sport is fun.
I know I said I wasn't going to talk about Alicia Parks again until she like switches something up. But I do want to say, and we don't normally talk about 125s on here either, but she got to a final like 2 weeks ago. I mean, she lost, but she got to a final in a 125. And I think she's really like, she's still playing. I think she's playing in Charleston right now at another 125. I think she's really trying to climb her way back into the top 100. So I see that desire there. I'm hoping that it reflects in her, you know, coaching choices and all that stuff. But I just wanted to give her a commendable shout out for that. It would have been her third title of 2024 had she won it. She did not, though, but
Yeah, I mean, with Alicia Parks, I don't think it's ever been in doubt that she wants to be a great player. She got that drive. It's just the consistency when she gets past like a certain level, like it starts to be wonky. And so that's what she needs to change. Like, yeah, we know you can beat everybody at the 125 level. Let's see you. And she's also had a 250, I think, last year. And I can't remember this it was in Lyon.
She has a 250 and she's not in the top 100?
It was last year.
Oh, she didn't defend it this year?
No.
Oh, okay.
So she knows she can compete at that level. It's just the consistency to stay there. I think she needs a coach. I think she needs to switch up her team. I think she needs to do something out of her comfort zone. But her drive has never been questioned on my end. Like, I always knew she wants it, but I think she's trying to find her route there. Like, what is her path?
Speaking of somebody who wants it, Denis Shapovalov, Felix's bestie, won a title in Belgrade.
Yeah.
And he said, I didn't think I had so many fans in Serbia. It's maybe because I lose to Novak every time. What?
Yeah.
Why did he say that?
Because they're probably like, oh, this guy can't even win a match because they're only seeing him playing Djokovic.
No, I think he's saying that they like him because Djokovic beats him. So he helps Djokovic win.
Okay. Oh, not the pity fans.
Like, it was the first title from a Canadian man this year.
Good for the Canadians.
They haven't had a really strong year. I mean, Milos is, injured. He should retire. Felix had quite a tough year. Gabriel Diallo, I really only saw him like pop out in the later half, but I don't think he was.
We saw him play at the US Open. How fun.
Yeah, versus Tommy Paulus.
Yeah, tough one.
The one thing that stood out to me in Mets in terms of match point musings was Mickelson, the American player. He's like up and coming.
Yes, I like him.
He got like an abdominal injury during the match. I think it was like a semifinal. And he didn't retire. He kept playing, but then started so he won the first set, lost the second set. He got bageled in the second set, actually. Third set, he he literally can't raise his arm to toss the ball up. So it starts doing like pickleball serves, underarm serves the whole time. And it was effective. He only lost by a break. Isn't that insane?
It's pretty crazy. But he gives me that chaotic vibe. Like, he just brings a chaotic vibe to tennis. That's like, I'm going to win this first set decisively, get injured, stay in the match, lose the second set decisively. As there's no further way that he could have lost. He did not pick up a single game.
Unless they give negatives,
Yeah. And then come back to lose the third set, but fight for it. 5-7. Crazy.
He gives me the vibe of a toddler that would run up to you and be like, ah, and run away.
You got games on your phone?
Literally, he's so.
I mean, the other day I was thinking, who gives country club vibes on the men's tour randomly? He definitely gives he brings country club to the pro tour.
What country clubs you be going to?
He looked like a messy ass country club boy who comes in
with his Sperry's. He looks like he
just gives frat boy, American frat boy.
He looks like he wears a mean pair of Sperry's and he don't put his foot all the way in. He steps on the back.
Ooh, he steps on the back. Not a boat shoe.
But no, I feel you on that. I thought you meant country club in terms of a very clean
no. He gets country club he grew up in the country club.
His parents are members of a country club. Yeah, no, I feel that.
His name's on the wall. They have a court dedicated to the fam.
Yeah,
he don't have to dress up to show up. Do you know what I mean?
That's
the
vibe
he brings to tennis.
I just wanted to grab a sandwich.
My usual. Love a country club vibe. So on the men's side, we've already crossed over to the men's, but the main tournament this past fortnight has been the ATP Finals, which was so good.
Was it?
Not too unexpected. I thought it was really good.
I was bored. I found it so boring.
I really enjoyed what Casper Ruud brought to the table. Honestly,
He is the definition of I'm doing the best I can with what I got, and he's not bringing more than what he has.
He's
And
not
it
bringing
has
more than
gotten
what
it-
he has, and he's very
like-
much put me in, coach. I'm there. Put me in 2
Like,
minutes before. I'm there.
I have been loving his energy lately. It's very much like, yeah, I made it to the final. Didn't try. Here I am. Yeah, I'm gonna play my best. Not trying, but here I am.
It's giving
I've been
he's on a
loving it.
professional tennis tour for fun, which
So
is
he's
like
vibing.
a very good vibe. Yeah, it's a healthy
He's
vibe.
vibing. He has.
And
He doesn't
I-
seem to be under any pressure at all.
None. And he played like that. He played so free in the finals. He obviously didn't win because he's doing the best he can with what he has in this moment. But he played great tennis, and that was probably they're the most exciting matches for me to watch.
He lost
Fritz-
to Taylor Fritz.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Fritz made his
No,
second
He lost to
major
Yannick
final.
Sinner. What's the Yannick Sinner? Fritz beat Zverev again.
You know, we have to talk about Fritz.
He
I
got
think we've
Zverev's number and he
already-
is calling it. Ring a ding.
I think every time he has to come and play Zverev, the level increases, and he's like, "Absolutely not! I'm not losing this match." And it's happened
No,
a
he
few
turns it
times
up.
this year.
It turns it up.
And I feel like
He's
Zverev is
beaten
the
him
type
the
of
last
player.
4 times.
Yeah, Zverev is the type of player where like that shit gets to his head, so he also doesn't play as well. And whatever it is, Fritz got the job done. He won against Zverev, Medvedev, and de Minaur to become the first American in the finals in a long time.
Since James Blake, I think, like 2006.
Yeah, like early 2000s. I think it was 2006. And then he went on to play Yannick Sinner in the final, and Sinner was just unreal.
The thing about it though is that like I think that's what was like boring me about the finals is like we know where this like we've seen.
Yeah,
this
we know where
movie
this
before.
goes.
We know the ending. Like roll the credits. What are we doing here?
Yeah,
We
it
know where
wasn't
this is going.
necessarily like an underdog playing the top guy. It was kind of like, okay, 2 top guys.
Damon Or got there. They were beating up on him. He shouldn't have been there. Rude slid through. I was surprised by that. I'm not gonna lie. Carlos crashed out. You know how he be. Like there was nothing nothing surprising happened. Like I was just sitting there like, all right, next, roll the credits. We seen it.
Yeah,
Give it
Rude
to
came
Xander.
in at the last minute and turned it up. Expected. De Minaur came in solid, but like boring because he's
Rublev was
such a
beating himself
defensive
up,
player.
upset.
Rublev
Zverev didn't win. We knew that was
going
gonna
to
happen.
do some counseling in the off season. What we saw from Rublev.
The only thing that was exciting was Medvedev
Mhm.
fooling around in his match, and that was annoying. More so
Oh,
than
Medvedev
exciting.
gave us such
Memes.
a lack of form,
Like
but then
He gave
somehow
us
came
memes.
out with some wins.
like
Because he didn't do badly, but his form was so bad, and somehow the shots are in.
that's how he always plays, right? But like
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like this year the storylines were not up. The ATP writers were not doing their big one. Can't lie, it was very boring. Like after the first 2 days, I was like, all right, let's just give Yannick the trophy now, because like
Yeah. It
What are
didn't
we
look like it
doing
was
here?
going in any other direction than Yannick Sinner taking home the title. Which is
He went
great for you
undefeated, no?
guys. Yannick Sinner, yeah, undefeated and dropped no sets.
yeah, so
Period.
he took home the extra money too.
Mm-hmm. Bonus.
6364 6464 6364 6162 6464. Like, why did we even come here? You could have mailed him the trophy. Like, why are we, what are
Nah,
we doing here?
he didn't come to play. He also said like, let's get this over in like under 2 hours. Like they were short and sweet, succinct.
He needs to prepare for his appeal. He doesn't have time to be out here. Actually, he needs to wrap this.
That
he needs
is
this
very
wrapped up by
true.
6.
Wrapped up by 6, in bed by 7, ready for court in the
Like-
morning.
He said he like did an interview and was talking about like the the doping, and like when he found out he was positive, and he was like, his agent calls him and says, Yannick, you are positive. And he says, yes, Alex, I am always positive. And he said, no, you are positive for doping.
Wild. Speaking of the spectrum,
What is
these
wrong
tennis
with you?
players be like so interesting as personalities. Oh, Yannick.
Mm-mm. Oh my God, speaking of which, I do have to say, I keep saying like Iga's not funny or Iga
She's
doesn't
hilarious.
she has no personality. She's not okay, see, that's the thing. You always have to drag it. She's not hilarious.
She's
But,
so
like,
cute. It makes me laugh. So she's hilarious.
hilarious. She's not hilarious. Like, what are you talking about? She's not hilarious. Why did you say that? She's hilarious.
Because there have been a few times where I'm like cackling.
I watched a press conference of her in Riyadh where she basically didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Didn't matter. That was funny. Like, I found that funny. And then later,
it was so cute.
They found out that something else happened, and she was like, "See, it does matter." And it was like, that was funny. And I was like, "Oh wait, is Iga like actually funny?" But hilarious is insane of you. Like, words mean things. You can't just say
looked
things.
at that same interview, and I thought it was funny. Her reaction.
You
was
were cackling. You were in your bedroom inconsolable.
I was.
You were rolling around
because of the way she interacted with like her team. Like she asked them about
to be
it
honest,
right there on
you
the stand.
cackle at the wind blowing, so I don't even know why I'm surprised.
If it blows in a certain direction,
like, you listen,
it might tickle my nose. So let's get into some doubles trouble. I must say, it's been pretty exciting watching the doubles. I'm not sure what it is about these particular pairings.
Yeah, I love the doubles at the WTA finals. It was so good. It was so good.
Because it was like you're coming with top tier partner picks. Like you're not trying to be in there with just anybody. Whereas
you can't
the
be in
season,
there with just anybody. You have to be
you can't.
in the race.
They have to be also qualified. And during the season, I guess we get more of a like variety of doubles pairings. But these were the top doubles pairings. I really wanted Siniakova and Townsend to take the title. They unfortunately fell short. Dabrowski and Routlife, is that how I say it?
Mm-hmm.
Took home the women's title. There was this really funny TikTok that Taylor Townsend made where she was like so excited to be at her first WTA doubles final. And then she turns the camera to Katerina and is like, yeah, here's Katerina. It's like her 29th or something. Who knows? She's very much a doubles legend at this point.
She's finished as year number 1 again.
4th time in her career.
Yeah. I mean, that Routliff and Dabrowski are also like really good. I'm not gonna
really
lie.
top, but of course
they're very good. Their friendship is also very, very cute.
Yeah.
Like I really like yeah. I'm wondering though if Siniakova is gonna stay with Townsend because this all started because Storm Sanders was injured. That's her actual partner. And then she slid into Taylor's DMs. But I don't want her to DM anybody else because I actually love them playing together.
They're pairing, yeah.
It's nice.
Townsend is so powerful behind the ball.
Yeah.
And she's looking to be in great form. Like I saw her playing she was playing singles at the Billie Jean King Cup and I was just like, damn, she's really in form. Like you could tell.
She won, no? She won her match.
She did. I think one of them. I haven't kept up with the exact updates since yesterday, but she just looked great and I'm happy for her.
I'm pretty sure they're out. I think they've been out for like a couple of days, I think.
America?
Yeah, the only people that are left are Slovakia and Italy because Jasmine Paolini and Sarah Irani beat Iga Świątek and the other lady from Poland that she was playing with in doubles. And Sarah Irani, speaking of underhand serves, hit an underhand serve on match point to win the match. She's insane. I love her. I love her.
I just wonder how that conversation goes down with your partner. Because didn't she do that on another match as well and miss it? Like she double faulted.
The thing about it is you just have to do what's best for you at the time.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I don't think I don't. Yeah, I wonder, but it worked. Iga was.
It
crying.
worked that time. Yeah, because it was Iga who got the shock. She like really wasn't expecting an underarm serve. So her return wasn't great. She just kind of chucked it over the net, and then that was the end of that. I did enjoy. Seeing
I think she
Iga
really
play
wanted
doubles.
to lead. She should do it more. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think she wanted to end the season on like a win or like bring it home for her country. I think because obviously she also didn't win the Olympic. She got bronze, but
does bronze exist in tennis? Not really.
Remember people had that whole thing about bronze is better than gold, is better than silver because you leave with a win, and silver you leave with the loss. But guess what? You also leave with
more money,
a silver medal.
A silver medal. Yep.
But yeah, I think she's had the ending of the season has not been what she wanted.
Yeah, it's kind of dry for her. Great girl though. I think when she came out for the finals, it was the first time she played in a long time.
Yeah,
so she was kind of rusty, honestly.
Mm-hmm. She had the coaching switch. She switched to Wimpy.
Now she's speaking tennis in English instead of in Polish for the first time. New things happening on Iga's side.
Yeah. I haven't really been keeping up with the Billie Jean King Cup, but I did catch bits of Paolini and Swiatek's match. I was a bit frustrated because I feel like Jasmine could have won that. I think she lost it in her head.
Yeah, and Iga wasn't playing that great, so I think they were definitely openings for Jasmine. And for some reason, I think I was watching it in the evening, and maybe I dozed off, but I went to bed thinking Jasmine took this until the next day. I thought she won the match. I was shocked. I had to fully Google and like check the score. But in my dream, she won, and I was real happy for like a good few hours.
In your dream?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Like I fell asleep watching it, so like I legit just made up in my head that she won.
Speaking of doubles and people that are supposed to win and not win, Wesley Koolhof is retiring this year, and some would say that's why he played the match of his life yesterday against Carlos for the Netherlands at the Davis Cup. So him and his partner are splitting up, obviously, because he's retiring. Matt Ebden and Bopana are splitting up, as I mentioned. I told you this.
Is Bopana retiring?
No, apparently not.
It wouldn't be a surprise if he did, though.
He's like 48, no?
Yeah, he's grown.
Elise Mertens and Sue Wei are splitting up. Ellen Perez and Nicole Melachar are also splitting up. So we're going to see some new pairings next season, which is in like a month, by the way. We're going to blink and we're going to be at United Cup. Like,
it's kind of scary to think about because
no, it's literally like we're gonna blink and it's gonna be literally.
I need a break.
But let's step into the players box. So Emma Raducanu is in talks to hire Sharapova and Osaka's former fitness coach, Yutaka Nakamura. Her goal next year is to stay on court longer,
whatever that means.
She has previously cited a desire to keep her team small as a reason for not hiring a full-time fitness trainer and relying only on the Lawn Tennis Association staff. She spoke about how she feels like she's in the top 60 and, you know, even though she hasn't played. This is in her presser from the Billie Jean King Cup. And she feels like if she's, you know, more fit, she thinks her athleticism is up there, but it could be better. She thinks that if she gets it better, she will be a better player and be a real contender. Oh, and she also said that she's not interested in having an off season because she's taken so much time off already this year. So she
just wants to go right into her preseason training.
Exactly. So interested to see what she does next year. It's been 3 years now since she's won the U.S. Open. So let's see what happens in 2025.
Yeah, she's definitely had a tough road since winning. One, the pressure was on, and then she's had so many different injuries. I think not having a full-time fitness trainer while you are, I guess, injury prone is interesting. One would think that you want a trainer who can react to like every single thing that's happening to you on tour so that you really avoid injury. But is she cheap? Like, what is the reason?
Oh dear.
Like you've won the U.S. Open. You need to win more.
I remember like when she first won the U.S. Open, her dad had given some interview and saying that he wants her to have a different coach for everything, like a coach for her backhand, a coach for her forehand, a coach for this, a coach for that. So I think that they've always had some very unconventional ideas around what her team should look like, what her routine should look like. She's always been very adamant though that like she knows what she's doing and like basically we don't. So I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying my best not to be really annoyed by Emma Raducanu lately. I'm wishing her the best.
Why do you think you find her annoying?
Why do I find Emma Raducanu annoying? Mostly it's when she like starts to speak. The things that she chooses to say they give a little bit like full of herself. She's also giving uncoachable. That's a rumor that's been going around, but I don't know. None of this is fact. This is just my feeling from her pressers. Obviously.
I feel that. I guess we'll see what ends up happening here. I definitely think having a coach a fitness coach at least, that's, will help her, and specifically because, even before she won the U.S. Open, remember she had that withdrawal from Wimbledon that same season where she couldn't breathe on court. It was just too much for her.
So that's what I don't get. Why is a fitness coach not an essential at this point?
Yeah.
As you're traveling the world.
Speaking of fitness coach, Matteo Berrettini is signing Humberto Ferreira, who is, if you don't know, the fitness coach that Yannick Sinner fired after his doping positives, and the person he basically blamed for it. So I
wonder if he really blamed him, or if they were just for optics, we have to do this. And so it was kind of he's still cool on the Italian side.
No.
But I mean, good for Berrettini. I hope he gets fit, because I definitely want to see him on the court longer. Small. I don't think there's anything you can do about that. I don't think so. I don't think any fitness coach can change that. I just do want to see him on court longer. That would be great. So please, Mr. Humberto, make it happen.
Yeah, well, anyway, not much else except for the fact that Taylor Fritz had a really good season.
Unexpectedly.
A nice reward for beating up on Zverev all the time. He's going to finish the season as world number 4. And he will be the first American player to do so since 2006. So come Australian Open next year, he's going to have his own quarter. That's insane.
Period. That's such a milestone for him. I feel like he's been so honest about his struggle to find his confidence and to feel not feeling like an imposter in the top 10. And he now finally feels like he's meant to be there. Did you know
that his family owns Macy's?
God, is he another billionaire, baby?
He's apparently it was Miles from Tuned Into Tennis. He was telling me he's a slept on nepo baby. His mom's
I
family
did
or something
know he
owns
was
Macy's.
A bro. I did know, but I didn't know the extent. Macy's is huge, obviously.
It all makes so much more sense now, actually. And I should have known from when Morgan was he paid someone to finish school for him. I said, something's off here.
Yeah, the fact that your pocket change could pay for your GED is pretty crazy.
But yeah, that's a bit of tea there.
No, I'm happy for Fritzy.
I do have a what's tea after all.
Yeah. So in court couture,
ooh,
Alcaraz has been sporting this pink nose strip. He was having some nasal issues. He had a cold.
Okay. Oh yeah, I did.
That's why. So they were trying to make sure he can breathe. Essential. Opening up the nasal passage. I think that's what it's for. But they didn't choose nude or skin tone. They were pink.
I did see a graphic that either Tennis TV or ATP put out, and they put the nose thing over they put the thing over his name. I saw that actually. I just remembered.
Do you have a favorite kit from this year? What was just off top of your head real quick, what was the kit that really stands out for the men? Go.
I like what New Balance had Tommy Paul in most of the time. I like the Lacoste kits, although everyone was wearing them all the time. So it ended up being they ended up looking like ball boys more than anything else, because why are so many people wearing the same thing?
Okay, so I have one piece of tennis fashion analysis, and I think there was a big change this year, and it's due to one person. And we'll see how this plays out next season, right? So I feel we were all, heading in the Euro direction of the pum pum shorts for the men. We see the pum pum shorts for the men.
Okay.
We see Holger Rune wearing them very Euro, Patrick Mouratoglou. The shorts are short and they're fitted. Mm-hmm. Then I feel everyone was going in that direction. Some more extreme than others. Now Jack Draper came out with the full 90s baggy fit. And I feel that's the biggest development in men's tennis this year, is that they're going to go into more baggy fits. And I like that for them, because it looks like swag. It moves different.
Tommy Paul was doing it first.
Tommy Paul also does it, but in a different way. Okay, so this is how I would look at it. Tommy Paul gives us like
Jack Draper's shirt is actually too big for him.
It's way too big. But he's giving like garage, like bring the garage
he's giving,
to
like,
tennis.
He doesn't have his proper size.
No, it looks good. I like it. It's looking like he about to 1-2 step or like.
Girl.
Yep, in my
Does
white
he look like he can
breakup.
1-2 step?
And I think they like that before I did a house. Sit on the.
That's not the song.
Really loose.
What song do you think you're singing right now?
So we will go in the direction of me predicting that next year the men are going to be wearing more baggy fits, a la Tommy Paul and Jack Draper. And so Draper's fit, the big baggy purple and pink one, was my fave this year. Okay. On the women's side, it was Wilson, no question. Close second, what they put Coco in at the U.S. Open. They did that.
That was nice.
That was so cute.
I also liked her fit at the WTA finals, that purple. That was nice too.
I don't know if they planned for it to match like the court and the vibes, but it worked really well.
New Balance is really stepping it up, not gonna lie.
They're doing it for Coco. I love it. I love it.
I haven't minded the Lacoste looks.
For the girls,
but
yeah.
Wilson is top. Adidas has done some very horrible things this year, let me tell you.
They continue to do horrible things. There seems to be no disciplinary action by the WTA and the ATP against Adidas. And somebody needs to get on it.
No, it's crazy. We need to look into that. We need to start a dialogue.
The dialogue needs to be started.
It is untenable. It is untenable.
Adidas with that. Do you remember when they came out with that sleeve attached to the dress, but it is removable for US Open?
I'm trying to forget. It's actually not. It's not removable. What you were seeing was two different dresses. It's the one with the sleeves. It doesn't come off. It's there.
Oh, okay.
You're locked in. Yeah,
you're literally locked in. Unreasonable.
Babolat made a custom Nadal bag, and it had all his career achievements on it.
And they highlighted that in his however long, like 20-something year partnership with them. I think it's 1,400 something rackets. He's never broken one.
Literally. I read this out because they put out a statement when he first announced, and I remember reading those stats, and I was like, "This is crazy. He's so nice."
I wonder who decided that your tennis racket sponsorship could fine you. Like your deal is affected if you smash the racket in public. I think it's genius.
They still smash the rackets, girl.
They still smash the racket, but I love that they're like, we're gonna have to fine you every time.
I don't think they actually do though.
They just take it out of their check, no? Like you smashed 5 rackets, you made our brand look unhinged.
They're enforcing that? I don't think they're enforcing that. Rackets get smashed every day, B.
Anyway, should we go on to some networthy news?
The most networthy news this week is that epistle that Roger Federer wrote to his wife, Rafael Nadal.
It was so beautifully written.
That was so nice.
That
was so really nice.
It was very Roger Federer, like ultimate very class classy. Act.
Very
saying all the right things, emoting, being vulnerable, being honest.
I appreciate their relationship because you can't even I feel like calling it a rivalry isn't enough, you know? Like it was so much more than that. And I think it's done a lot for the sport.
Yeah, they definitely pushed each other like from level to level, up the level.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Something that was not beautiful and was very bizarre. What the hell was Serena Williams doing on Kai Cenat's Twitch stream?
It was very awkward for me to see our good sis, not just on like a live Twitch stream or whatever, but that one that is just known for nonsense. Shout out to Kai. I do watch his streams. They're so funny. Okay, I don't watch his streams, but I watch the replays. But they're usually so funny, but they're usually just dumb.
No, did you watch her on it? I didn't see her on it.
I didn't watch her on it. I can't watch that. I go to Kai Cenat to see like stupid things. I want to see Nicki Minaj preparing like fuck the club up. I want to see what's Hallie's baby daddy. I want to see DGG pull up with his kid in a purse. That's what I go to Kai Cenat to see, right? I want to see Glorilla like talking some wild shit. I do not want to see Serena Williams, a legend of our sport, talking nonsense.
I thought that was weird. She should be on Whoopi Goldberg's new women's sports channel.
She should be. You know what I want to see her on? I want to see her on Jennifer Hudson's one, the one where they sing to you when you come in, because I want to hear what they're going to sing for Serena. They better get it correct.
Whoopi Goldberg has launched the All Women's Sports Network, AWSN, and it's set to fill the global gaps in broadcasting of women's sports. She said, if it's a woman playing it, we are showing it.
Period. Sign us up, Whoopi.
Yeah. I'm really keen on it. And I mean, women's sports is like a huge thing right now, right? I think they're, for the first time ever, women's sports is on pace to generate over $1 billion in one calendar year. I did see a Substack article, was it? About how, although there's a boom in women's sports, the coverage for women's sports has not reflected it. So the journalists that cover women's sports have not seen the same boom in their compensation. And I think that's very interesting. And by interesting, I mean horrible.
Horrible, but I think a lag is always expected. Like the rate of like viewership increase and just like interest and buzz around women's sport happened like literally within the last few years. So I think most of the people who are on like long-term contracts with like a broadcasting company, like it's going to take some time for those contracts to be renegotiated and for like salaries and compensation to like really catch up. I don't think it's been a moment where someone can be like, nah, absolutely not. I can't wait for the end of this term. I need to renegotiate this contract right now. Like they don't have that leverage yet. Do you know what I mean? But they will soon. I'm confident.
I hope so. I really hope so. Because I think another thing that's happening as well is sports journalism, at least in terms of tennis, I feel is not on the level it used to be because it's such a broad sweeping sport and they're traveling here and they're traveling there and it's probably quite expensive. Do you know what I mean? Journalism in general is taking a hit. And so I think paying for a journalist, like if you're, you know, a publication, paying for a journalist to follow their tour is probably
super expensive.
Yeah. The ATP finals are going to stay in Italy. I think people had been wondering if they were going to go to Saudi and stuff like that, but they're going to be in Italy for the foreseeable future until like 2030. The prize money is going up to $25 million. It's currently 15. And the Italian Federation also has to pay a bigger annual fee of 30 million, up from 18 million.
You know what? So, I want to see the WTA bring in these kind of numbers.
Milano.
How much has Saudi paid the WTA for the finals? Do you know?
No idea.
I want to hear what the numbers are looking like in comparison to this 30 million. Like, this is a bonus. This is like an extension of contract.
I really do like the ATP finals in Italy, though. I think it's the crowd is really fun. Like, I like the vibe a lot. Jasmine, Lorenzo, Musetti, they were watching one of Yannick's matches, and the camera, like the jumbotron showed Jasmine, and they had to stop play because the crowd wouldn't they couldn't stop screaming for her.
Yeah, the timing is right for them. Like they have Italian world number 1, Jasmine's doing bits on the woman's side.
World number 4,
yeah. Ooh, we had something huge happen in the tennis world recently. That was really an unfortunate event. Barbara Krejcikova was body shamed by a journalist.
Body shamed is crazy. You're dragging it.
Is your forehead
body shamed is crazy.
Part of your body?
Body shamed is crazy.
That is whole body shaming.
Girl, it was not that serious. I understand that as she the player, it probably felt that serious, and I'm not taking nothing away from her. But the way everybody reacted to it was very insane. It was not that serious. Y'all did too much. It was not that serious. And I also think that like saying somebody has a big forehead is not an insult. Like she got a big forehead.
I do think it has to do with the context of the fact that this was clearly said off the live. Like they weren't supposed to be live. Y'all would have wanted
to say it on air?
No, but I think these things feel worse when it's like, oh, this is what they're saying behind my back. Do you know what I mean? Like that makes it worse and makes it feel like,
listen,
okay.
He said that they were trying
the
to
journalistic
adjust his
community
camera.
is not nice. Like they're nice on camera and then they're like talking shit behind your back when you're like a freaking Wimbledon champion. I didn't like that for my girl.
That's your girl?
Yeah.
When she became your girl?
In Big Forehead Solidarity.
Girl.
Yeah.
It was an offhand comment. They're fixing his thing. He's like, yo, I gotta, like, whoa, but I look like Robert Kachikua. It was not nice. I'm not saying that it was nice. It was
unkind.
rude, and he shouldn't have said that. It was not nice at all. But it also was not that serious. But also maybe because, like, culturally, saying somebody has a big forehead is something that we hear all the time. But people were clutching their pearls like, oh, how could he
maybe
talk
they don't
about
speak
her
like
forehead?
that in, like, Europe. Or, where's she from again? Czechoslovakia.
Girl, it was not that serious. It was just not that
Maybe
serious.
they don't talk about foreheads, but, like, having a big
Well,
forehead is like a very like elementary insult. Like it's just like ha 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 on our side of the world. So maybe on other
people
sides.
say that Rihanna has a big forehead all the time.
And Rihanna says that Rihanna has a big forehead all the time, and thus she does hairstyles to combat that. Unless she's trying to go for a big forehead style.
Okay, all right. The weather in Malacca was crazy, though. You saw Taylor.
Yeah, they're definitely having
flooding,
a climate change incident happening.
It wasn't anything as bad as like the other stuff that was happening, but Taylor Townsend's like hotel room was like flooding.
So I want to speak on that because when I saw that video, I felt like she was being a bit dramatic. She was like, water is coming into the room. It definitely looked like, first of all, you're on like the upper level of a building. You're not on ground floor. Second of all, it just looks like the rain was too heavy for her like patio. Like it wasn't draining fast enough. It wasn't giving, oh, the water has risen to the second floor and is now entering my bedroom. That's how she made it seem.
No, I don't think she made it seem like that.
She did. She was being so dramatic. Maybe because I live where I live. I'm like, girl.
I thought the video was a bit insensitive, if anything.
Yeah,
because of the flooding that's been happening
like,
in other parts of Spain.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't think that you should have posted this. But
that's kind of what I'm trying to say. That it was a bit dramatic and it was given like, oh, we in the ghetto, this place, water coming in the room, like, chill. Climate is changing.
It is changing.
And it's not like the WTA has you in like an unsafe environment, like on the ground floor of like a flash flood. Like, come on.
I think Yannick Sinner and Anna Kalinskaya have broken up. And I think it's because
it just looked like
the
it had
comments he made recently.
Yeah.
When they asked him how she's changed his life and he said there's been no change. And now
because honestly, God forbid any man whose life I enter should say that there's no difference before and after. It's just weird.
Like, at least say I changed it for the worse. Say something. Like, what's going on?
Be like, oh, I got 99
She's
problems
ruining my life.
One. Like, say something that shows like you're engaged in this relationship. It gave like he's pretty dissociated, not dissociated, but detached from the relationship, which is not nice to hear.
Back against the wall for a couple weeks now. I'm defending something new every week. Oh my God.
Every week. Sweet girl. Sweetest girl on tour, arguably.
She's really hot.
And she didn't change your life?
She's
You wake
so
up
hot.
next to a fine babe on tour and she ain't change your life? Somebody's lying.
Oh my God, did you see that the Challengers soundtrack is up for a Grammy? Period.
Tennis is up for a Grammy. Let's say that.
Tennis is in. Don't be left out.
Tennis is in.
I keep saying it. But no, I mean, the end of the season, I think, has been very interesting, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I am definitely ready for a break. I think next week we'll do our Deuce Debates episode.
Just summing up the season.
Talking about different things. I'm going to open up for our listeners to ask us some questions.
Definitely.
As well. We'll do our Get to Know Me episode.
Yikes.
And then we're going to take a break. Do you guys really want to get to know us?
I think they do. I hope they do. Because I want to get to know them. That's Media Training 101.
Not this kumbaya shit this girl be on. God help me.
I'm very inspired by this girl on TikTok named Jove Khan. Have you seen her TikToks?
No.
She's the girl who goes through her sister's bag Bems, have you not seen this? As a big sister, you haven't seen this?
No.
She's like a little sister and she just torments her bigger sisters, like going through their bag and like insulting them. It's hilarious. But I want to go through some tennis bags and see what like people be carrying to the club.
You don't even have a tennis bag.
I do. I just don't use it. I got the Wilson one. The retro, like classic vibe. But it's white, so I'm scared to carry it to the clay court. I can carry it to Lancaster. It's ugh. So I do have a tennis bag. This year I have made tennis upgrades. I have a custom pro staff with my name on it. And I have a tennis bag. One of my tennis shoes was stolen at the tennis club.
I'm sorry? Like one of the shoe?
No, like a pair.
Okay.
My favorite pair.
Sounds like
so. Now I'm down to like rotation of like 2 older pairs.
What's your favorite pair?
So it was no, absolutely not. That shit hurts my knees. But I'm forced to use it now because with the clay, like I need to play, then wash, then switch. You see what I mean? Like I have to have more than one.
You wash your shoes?
Court. Yeah.
I just be letting my clay shoes. I have clay shoes and I have hardcore shoes. So my clay shoes are never clean. They're just always like dirty in the bag.
But after a while, it gets to a point. Like I don't wash it every single time. I'll wash it like every 2 times I play. But it still means I need like another shoe to alternate. Yes, because they get like brown. Like they're not.
I love it.
Look dusty.
I love it.
They look very.
I love it. But my clay shoes are not white. So.
Oh, mine are white. That's the issue. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, I'm in the market for new tennis shoes. I left my new Wilson. I don't even know what they're called. The ones that Marta Kostyuk wears in LA deliberately because I did not want them to come to Accra and get messed up. Maybe that could be part of Court Couture for that episode. Our personal faves for playing tennis. Mm-hmm. Just warning, guys. I have 3% of battery.
So it's the end of the season, but let's talk about what's next on tour. Women's tennis is essentially done. After the BJK Cup, they're basically done till late December, where they come back in Sydney and Perth at the United Cup on the 27th of December. Then there's the Brisbane Open, which that's men and women. And that's where I think Nick Kyrgios is making his return. It's a
exciting
500, and that's on the 29th. The ASB Classic in Auckland, which Coco is the defending champion of. It's a WTA 250 that starts on December 30th. On the men's side, for the end of this current season, we have the Davis Cup Finals and the Next Gen ATP Finals, which is on December 18th. The Davis Cup Finals is going on right now. It's ended for me, though, considering Nadal is out with Spain losing yesterday. So my tennis season has ended for now. Mm-hmm. We have 2 more episodes, 1 Deuce Debates, 1 Get to Know Us. In the meantime, if you want to get to know us, you can follow us on socials. Serving Up the Teapot on Instagram, 2 Gals 1 Serve on Blue Sky, Bems Baby and Ida AC on Instagram as well.
Skied It.
Skied It. Is that what it is? Oh, interesting. We have a little surprise for you guys, so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
And
that's
I think that's game set chat.
Set chat. See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.